Hey guys, what's up? This is Word here, and before we start this game, I just want to point out how adorable the larvae are when they just start and they're all rolled up in their little balls, and then we start the game and they unroll and they're ready to become fighting units, drones, and all that good stuff. What's up, guys? Welcome to the game. This is going to be a match from the ZOTAC Cup. Our player, the Red Zerg, here in the lower right portion of Ohana, he is first. Whoa. And he is going up against the Green Protoss here in the upper left, none other than Roxkis FRAER. So we're going to have a PVZ, a European PVZ. And of course we're going to be here on Ohana, the nice sandy map. Which, you know, every time I see Belshir Vestige, I confuse it. Because they have the same tile set. So I see somebody on Vestige, I see them spawn. And I'm like, oh cool, we're on Ohana. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, this is probably Vestige. Then I look at the minimap and I'm like, no, we're on Ohana. I'm like, wait, no, we're on Vestige. And then eventually I narrow it down. Oopsie daisies, did not turn my phone off there, my bad. Hey, look, first did neither. Oh my god, that's amazing timing. Okay, anyway. So yeah, this is Ohana. This isn't Belshir Vestige. They look rather similar, was my point. And we can start talking a little bit about the game. I mean, you know what? No, let's not, because nothing exciting happens in the first few minutes of PvZ unless we see, like, a 2-gate proxy, which doesn't happen very often, or a 6-pool, which does happen a little more often, but in this case, hasn't happened. We see FRAER is just going to be doing a little bit of harassing here, nice and annoying, pull drones off the mineral line, be a general pain in the butt while he goes for his Nexus first. So that's pretty much what's going on. Pretty cool. Of course, I've watched a lot of the Home Story Cup this weekend. It was very, very awesome, and I don't want to spoil the winner. I mean, if you go on Reddit, you've been spoiled. I'm sorry, unless you happen to use the RES filter system, which filters out the spoilers. Then, you know, maybe you don't know. So I'm not going to spoil it, but it was very, very cool. You know, of course, the finals always end up Zerg heavy. These things happen. You might have seen the tweet from Dustin Browder saying that the Infestor nerf, their Infestor nerf was not as good as they wanted it to be. So coming in January, we may have ourselves a new Infestor nerf. That's a distinct possibility. I just realized my mic is a little further away than normal, so I just moved that back. Hopefully it wasn't too quiet there. I'll try to compensate in the later mixing of the audio. But so possibly expect another Infestor nerf come January. That could be pretty interesting. Change the game up a little bit. And speaking of game changing, I really like to see game changing. I love to see people abusing the normal meta. Like, I've been playing Reigns PvZ style a lot lately because it's so much fun. And if you're not familiar with it, definitely check it, especially if you're a Protoss. Check out the guide on Team Liquid for it's just called Reigns Pre-Hive PvZ timing or playstyle. I forget the exact title, but it's very, very good. I mean, if you've ever seen Raid play against Zerg, you'll know he does this. It's based around a lot of certain timings, like the Zealot Stalker initially, and then a Warp Prism with 3 sentries to attack the third base. Very, very cool, very fun. I don't do it as well as he does, of course, because I am nowhere near as good as Reyna is. I don't even want to say our names in the same sentence, so I won't. But it is a lot of fun, and it breaks the meta a little bit. A lot of Protoss will just sit back, you know, they'll get Immortals and Sentries, and either they'll all in with those, parting, or they will go ahead and take a third with them and move on to a Mothership-based late game or a pre-Hive Colossus all-in. And Rain style is just a lot more fun, and it's very cool. So I'd recommend it if you're a Protoss, and basically the point I'm making is breaking the metagame is awesome. It's very cool to see new styles. I'm seeing so many Zergs not take these fast third hatches, at least in my play. In pro play, they still do it a lot in begin. It's because they're a lot better than me and the people I play against, but it's a lot more fun. I'm just going to say it's a lot more fun, so I am really hoping the meta gets broken a lot over the next few months, especially with new patches. And, of course, with HOTS coming out soon in March, obviously the meta is just going to be brand spanking new, so that's going to be very cool as well. So any of you, if you're tired of StarCraft or something, just give it a little bit of time. Very soon it's going to be a whole new game, and we're going to see some very cool stuff, and of course the scene is absolutely amazing. And now that we're about 6 minutes into the game, just a little bit shy, we can start talking about new developments. I timed that perfectly. Just as the Cybercore finished, I was done talking. So we're going to see here, what is FRAER going to do? Is he going to break the meta? Is he going to go for some pressure? We have +1 coming out. We've got, you know, Warp Gate on the way. Nothing too crazy right now. No insanely quick gases at the 4th or 2nd base. Wow, I skipped 2 numbers there. But we are going to see here that he is getting a Stargate. So it will be that sort of pressure. And the Stargate play is generally not all inny. Like, you're not going to go 2 base all in off a Stargate, unless you're Naniwa in the game I casted against Scarlet. That is up on the channel, Naniwa versus Scarlet. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Very interesting game. Naniwa does go 2 base all in with a Stargate, with like 4 Void Rays. Whether or not it works, I'm going to have to leave that to you to find out. I don't want to be the spoiler of a game that I casted myself, but I think it's definitely worth a look. It was on Abyssal City, and of course Naniwa and Scarlet, 2 very, very good players. We're going to see kind of an early Roach Warren here from First coming out, and this isn't necessarily aggressive. It can just be, you're a little bit paranoid, you're not sure what your Protoss opponent is up to, especially because First doesn't see gases here at the natural. This is usually indicative of some kind of gateway timing. In this case, we are going to see just pure Stargate. Looks like he's starting off with a Phoenix, and generally what you're going to do is you're going to start with a Phoenix and you're going to keep going with those Phoenixes. Usually get up to 4 at least. Anything less than 4 Phoenixes is kind of useless because you're not going to be able to kill a Queen with 1 lift, and if you want to go totally nuts, you can produce more and more Phoenixes. Now, he is going to reveal this Phoenix. The gases here are a little bit later because of that Stargate, and we're going to have a few Roaches coming out here for First because he really was expecting gateway pressure. In this case, however, it's not going to be the biggest deal. FRAER just has the normal number of gateways, 4 gateways off this Stargate, and he'll either probably throw down a Twilight Council or a Robo before he goes ahead and tries to take a 3rd. Now, he has these 2 gases up, but he hasn't saturated them. First is fully aware of this, and we actually do have a Proxy Pollen warping in some Zealots here, so we're going to have some Stargate and warp-in pressure. These Zealots do have +1, but of course, very nicely here from First, he has the 7 Roaches out, and it's just going to be able to deal with +1 Zealots quite well. So, I mean, neither player is going to lose too much. That Pylon's going to be cleaned up. The units are going to be forced back home. He didn't even lose the Stalker. So, if we take a look at the units lost, very small, and we're still almost 9 minutes in the game, but now it could be changing up again. We do have speed done here for First. He's going to push with these Roaches, and do we have Lair done? Yes, but no Roach speed started quite yet. A few Spore Crawlers going up as the Phoenixes are going to be coming. We do have a 4th one in production. No, a 5th one in production. The 4th one flying across the map, so these will be able to kill Queens and kill Overlords, slowing down the Zerg. But how much will First be able to slow down FRAER as he comes in here with quite a few units, Roaches and Zerglings? Oh my, with a good force field, he should be able to block him. That's actually pretty nice, almost traps some of the Roaches, but there's only so much you can do with 1 force field, and a 2 force field ramp does end up losing that Sentry. And the good target fire here from FRAER is going to deal with these Roaches very nicely. And meanwhile, the Phoenixes are just going to return home to help try to clean this up. Couldn't get too much done with the Spore Crawlers up. Actually going to lift the Stalker to save it. That's pretty cool there from FRAER. I don't believe that was a misclick. That was protecting that Stalker from being killed. True story, you can do friendly lifts. Not something we see very often, but when we do see it, I personally do a little bit of applause in my head. You don't want to hear it because I'm busy casting and controlling the mouse and the keyboard. I won't be clapping, but it was definitely in my head. I was proud of that. So we have 6 Phoenix coming in here for FRAER. Meanwhile, he has thrown down the Robo. It's producing Immortals behind this, and he's actually killed off quite a few Roaches. You see the Zerg unit loss tab there is at 1324, and keeps bouncing up as he picks off Overlords and Roaches. And honestly, every unit he kills here is a big deal if he decides to go for a follow-up Immortal push. We actually have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, wow, he's operating off of 7 gates, and I guess, okay, 7 gates isn't really wow-worthy, but it's definitely an eye-opener. The Phoenixes here are going to continue to be annoying. He is just massing these up, now up to 7 Phoenixes. Very, very annoying. And if he comes here with Immortal Push, do have the Nexus coming up, but he'll be able to pick up a lot of units. You can pick up 7 Roaches off the ground, just like that, and that's 7 Roaches that aren't fighting. He's also going to be picking off a lot of drones, a lot of Queens. There actually are only 2 Queens on the field right now for the 3 hatches of First, and he is just being completely dominated by these Phoenixes. Meanwhile, FRAER back at home has a Zealot, Sentry, and Immortal army. And it does have +1. Now, First here is going to go for some counter-aggression. Is he aware of the 3rd? Yes, his Zergling has spotted it, not quite able to deny it. Where are those Phoenixes? It looks like they are just going to pick off everything that they can reach, and there is not quite enough here to deny this base. And look at that supply lead for FRAER. Very, very good aggression. I think First overextended just a bit here with those few Roaches. The slow Roaches, of course, they're kind of like Hydralisks, especially with force fields out on the map. You have to worry, okay, if I commit with these Roaches, am I committing these Roaches? Are they going to die? And especially with force fields and Phoenixes, yeah, they all got picked off. And that was a pretty big loss for First, so he's not able to be as aggressive as he wanted. I mean, imagine if he had 7 more Roaches here with Roach speed finishing up. That would be pretty brutal. Now, we actually are going to see a Spire coming out here for First. It might even not necessarily be for, you know, mass muta, almost certainly not with these 7 Phoenixes out here. It's going to be to get some Corruptors out to try to deal with this Phoenix count, which is pretty strong. And FRAER, meanwhile, is just massing up a lot of Zealots. Very interesting style, and this is very cool. Not something I see a lot. I imagine he will be getting charged with that Twilight Council just finishing up now. And, you know, I've started to see mass charge lot a lot more. in PvZ. Ooh, he's actually getting +1 shields. Very, very cool. Will he be mixing in some Archons with this now that that Twilight Council is done? He is starting to bank a little bit of gas. He certainly could afford to, getting a Warp Prism here as well. And this is an interesting composition here for going Colossus for Heavy, Zealot, and Immortal. And I imagine, I really feel like he should be throwing down this Templar Archives. Of course, shield upgrade is going to benefit Archons more than anything, but maybe he's not even going to wait for it. He's done a lot of damage with these Phoenixes. Look at that resources lost tab, and now he's pushing in. The Infestors are out for first. Beautiful Fungals on these Zealots, catching a lot of them in that clump. He's going to force field some of them in. Do we have charge on the way for these Zealots? No, we don't. So these are normal speed. How much is FRAER going to be able to get done here? There are quite a lot of units for the Protoss, and all these Spine Claws are just getting completely murdered. That was like 10 Spine Claws that were put down that didn't come to fruition, and there's not a lot here for first. 32 army supply to 81. Is FRAER actually going to win with this? What an interesting push, and the Zealots able to take so much damage. I mean, Fungals are great, but if you can't chain Fungal the Zealots into non-existence, they're just going to come up and smash your Infestors, and that is going to be the game. FRAER taking that against first with some good Stargate aggression and a very interesting follow-up timing. So thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you at the next cast. Word up.